Celtics,
World.
two significant pieces of Celtics. And because I know everything about everything, I'm going to talk about both. And then Tim's going to talk about both. And Mick and Cooch are going to say things like, and yeah.
You know what? I'm going to just put my head on the table. That's
apparently they signed this guy, Marquis Daniels.
Nothing official yet. But
Okay.
yeah, it might be by the time this airs.
Now, I looked up Marquis Daniels' numbers, thinking, well, this is a pretty good player. He was a starting player. He appeared to be terrible at everything. He didn't rebound. He shot poorly. He shot threes poorly. He shot free throws poorly. He didn't pass, and he was always injured. Missed 20 games at least in every year but one. So why are we excited about Marquis Daniels?
Because if you end up trading Tony Allen for him, it's called a wash.
But what's the point?
Well, basically,
you think Tony Allen just needs to go?
Tony Allen needs to go at this point. He's not contributing anything to this team. There's no real role for him. They envision Marquis Daniels to be the same type of player as Tony Allen. A lot of the same skill set, only he can do that backup 3 to 4 minutes of point guard duty a game that Tony Allen could never really seem to give them. Something that they were actually counting on Tony Allen to do that he could never really do. Yeah. I mean, Marquis Daniels, he's a decent defender. He's not great, but he's a decent defender.
He's big, right? 6'6".
Yeah, he's a swing man though. I mean, he's going to be coming off the bench to relieve Paul Pierce. He's going to be looking to score. He does not space the floor. He's not a deep threat. But then again, with the players that they have coming off the bench, you don't really need a deep threat,
I guess.
So I mean, he gives them kind of an element they were missing of having that, swingman scorer type off the bench that they've been missing the last years without having James Posey last year.
So he's poor man's Posey.
And I wouldn't even go that far. But then again, you're giving up very little for him in terms of what you can offer. There's conflicting reports as to what it's going to take to bring him into Boston. There's some talk. I know. I mean, we're talking about the 9th, 10th guy on the Celtics roster here, but
well, he's still there's only 12.
There's some discussion as to whether it'll be he'll sign for the biannual exception of $1.9 million, which they can use this year, or that they would have to actually make a trade with Indiana to get him. And the trade that I'm hearing is that they're going to trade basically all their young players. They're going to trade J.R. Giddens, Bill Walker, and Gabe Pruitt, 3 young guys that are going to go to Indiana in exchange for this one guy. And Bill
Walker, Marquis Daniels?
Yeah.
Why would they do that?
Mainly looking at the fact that there's the next 2 to 3 years, there's no window for these guys to play. But I don't agree with that. True. I mean, J.R. Giddens can, if we can believe what we've seen of his game thus far, it's what time he had in the D League and what we know about him coming out of college, he could give you easily what Marquis Daniels is going to give you.
Yeah,
without the veteran presence.
Yeah, didn't he kind of have the billing of being a guy who was...
He's going to be a defensive player. Yeah. He was going to be a scorer for them. And Bill Walker, I mean, he's already developed at least a little bit of a resume with the NBA team last year and also his work in the D League. So here's 2 guys that are probably going to give you the same that Marquis Daniels could if given the opportunity, maybe even a little bit more. So it just seems like you want to add a veteran presence if you're bringing him in.